Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's lesson. Let's go over today's lesson objective. So today we will recognize a digit represents 10 times the value of what it represents in the place to its right. All right, so let's go ahead and get started in our lesson. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to show 1,000 on our place value chart that we have over here. So let's go ahead and put down 1 dot to represent 1,000 in our thousands place. Okay, now we're going to show 10 times 1,000. So 10 groups of 1,000. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we went ahead and represented 10 times 1,000. All right, now here's a question. True or false? 10 times 1,000 is equal to 10,000. That is true. 10 times 1,000 is equal to 10,000. Okay, now 10 times 1,000 is equal to 10,000, which is equal to 10,000, right? So I can go ahead and take my 10,000s and move them over to my left to the next place value, and that will give me 10,000. Okay, so 10 times 10,000, so this time we're going to go ahead and do our 10,000s, is going to be equal to 10 10,000s, right? So if we did the same thing we did with our thousands and clumped them together, we would get 100,000. Now, here's a question for you. If I have 10 times 100,000, right? So that's going to give us 10 100,000s. That is going to be equal to 1 what? That will be equal to 1 million. Okay, so let's try another example of showing our movement between our place values chart with 2,000 divided by 10. So the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to place 2,000s or represent 2,000s on my place value chart. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So we have our 2,000s in our thousands place on our place value chart. Now I have to divide this by 10. So I don't have enough thousands to divide my 2,000s into 10, but what I can do is I can break my thousands into hundreds. So I'm going to go ahead and take 1,000 and break it into my hundreds place. So I'll have 10 hundreds. I did that to 1,000. Now we have to do it to the other thousands. So my 2,000s have now turned into 20 hundreds. Now I have to go ahead and take my 20 hundreds and divide them by 10. So I have to have 10 equal groups of 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I went ahead and took my hundreds and divided that by 10 to have my 10 equal groups. So now let's see how much one group would be. So 2,000 divided by 10 is equal to 200s because we're just going to look at one group. So one group has 200s. All right, let's go ahead and go on to our next problem. This one's going to be a little bit trickier. So this time we're going to make 10 groups of 300s and 2 10s. I put this in parentheses over here because we're going to multiply this whole group by 10. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So I have my 300s, 2 10s on my place value chart. So now we're going to go ahead and multiply it by 10. So we had to take that group and multiply each of those hundreds by 10 and each of those 10s by 10s. Okay, now I can take my 10 groups of 100 and move them over. So for every 100, every 10 hundreds, I now get 1,000. And for every 10 tens, I now get 100. Or, yes, 100. So 10 times 300s to 10s is equal to 3,200, as we see right here. We have 3,200s. Now, let's go ahead and represent this with just our digits instead of all of our place value discs. So first thing I'm going to go ahead and do is place my digits in the correct spot on my place value chart. So I have to do 10 times 300s to 10s. So I'm going to go ahead and put a 3 in the hundreds place. And then I'm going to put a 2 in the tens place. So I need to multiply my 300s to 10s by 10. So I'm going to take my hundreds. I'm going to multiply them by 10, which would then move my 300s over to the thousands place. So now I would have 3 thousands. I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing to the 2. So I'm going to take my 2 tens. I'm going to multiply that by 10. I need 10 groups of 2 tens, and that's going to bring me over here to the hundreds place, which would now give me 2 hundreds. Now I'm going to go ahead and write down my answer in standard form. So now this standard form is the form that we usually see numbers written in. It's a way that we represent numbers with only digits. So we have 3,000. I'm going to do a comma to represent the 3,000. 200s, and I have to put a 0 in my tens and ones place so that we can show that that is 200s. So 10 times 300s to 10s is equal to 3,200, or 3,200. All right, let's go ahead and do one last problem, but this time we're going to do it with division. Do this in the same way, except this time we're going to use digits. So let's go ahead and mark our 2 10,000s in our place value chart, but with digits. So I have 2 10,000s, okay? And then I have 2 tens. And we're going to divide our 2 10,000s and our 2 tens by 10, which means we're actually going to make our quantities smaller. So we're going to go to the right on our place value chart. So I'm going to divide my 2 10,000s by 10. Okay, and that's going to put me in the thousands place, and that's just going to give me 2,000s. And then I'm going to divide my tens by 10. And that's going to put us in the ones place. That's going to give us 2 ones. Okay, now let's go ahead and write this in standard form. So now our new answer, our new answer, because we divided our 2 10,000s and our 2 ones by 10, is going to be 2,002 ones. So how do I write that in standard form? So I have 2,000s. I'm going to do a comma. I don't have any hundreds. I don't have any tens. And I have 2 ones. So this is how we would write 2002 in standard form. Okay. All right. So let's review our lesson objective. So today we recognize a digit represents 10 times the value of what it represents in the place to its right. So basically we were multiplying digits and numbers by 10, and we were dividing digits and numbers by 10 to kind of figure out what our new answer is. All right, everybody, I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask me or another student as well, okay? But I'll see you all next time and have a great day. Bye, everybody.